Watching the Eagles-Giants game at Little Caesars Arena on my phone while I was watching the Wings play the Flyers in a very boring hockey game.
Yep.
I digress. The game was stopped because there was an incident with the where the chain broke, and they had to stop the game while they could repair the chain. It took a few minutes.
Well, they found a backup set of chains that happened to be tangled.
And I just think that in an era where we have a lot of cool technological innovations that are used in sports, some of them I like it, some of them I don't. And let me just, say this. This is not something I'm going to die on a hill for. I just thought, you know what? They could do so much better than that. I mean, as somebody pointed out earlier in the program, like in tennis, instead of sitting there trying to figure out if a ball's in or out when it's so close, they automatically go to the machine, whatever they call it, and you can tell, and it's always correct. There's got to be a way. I don't know the exact way. Maybe whether it's putting a chip in the ball or do something where you can actually go through this without having to stop the game and having the chain gang come onto the field and sit there. Now, I will say this. The anticipation of it is kind of interesting as a spectator to see how far, when they stretch it out, how far is it's going to go. Remember what? Gene Steratore was the one who had like the index card and all that. So there is some good theatrics involved in that. I'm not going to take that away. But I just think we're beyond that. And I'm not, believe me, as you know, I'm not sitting there as Mr. Progressive on a lot of these technological things. I mean, I like the fact that, Fenway Park and Wrigley Field, the scoreboards are still manual and things like that. I think that stuff's cool. To me, I just think that the chain gang, I think it's archaic. I think they can come up with, and I'm not a scientist, a better way to get it done faster. Yes. We don't have to have the guys come onto the field. You can just tell on the sideline, that first down. Game keeps going. You don't have to stop the game to have the guys come on with the chains. That's all.
Where do they put the chip?
I don't know. In the football. I don't know exactly where in the football.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not a scientist.
It's hard to argue this with somebody not non-scientifically.
Yes.
So obviously there's two ends to the ball. They put a chip in both ends. What happens if the ball is not going straight north and south?
Can't they put a chip in the ball where it just basically covers the whole ball as far as the...
Oh, you want to make the whole thing a chip?
No, I'm saying the ball, the chip is in there, but because of the technological advances or whatever, that the chip covers the whole ball. It doesn't have to be exactly where the chip is.
How does it know where the boundaries are?
Because there's something on the side, there's something on the field as well.
No, the boundaries of the football.
I don't know. They can figure it out. I'm not paid to do that.
How's a TV work, John? How does radio work?
Yeah, exactly. Tell me how television works. Exactly. How does this thing work?
It works over the cell service.
The phone.
Yes.
Or internet. But you can get television. You can do all sorts of things.
I'm sure that there is somebody who is smarter than you or I.
Yes, there's a lot of people smarter than you or I, especially me.
Yes. That could probably figure that out. But what's wrong with the nuance of this? We talk about, all right, the different dimensions of ballparks in baseball.
I like that.
All right. It's not uniform, so it's different for different hitters, for different pitchers. How about the strike zone? Tom mentioned this earlier. Are you all for having the robot umpire so that they get balls and strikes exactly right?
Not 100%, but I'm starting to lean that way.
After I called you out?
So it fits your argument?
No, but I
don't let us sway you in one thing.
I'd rather have the umpires only because I like argument. That's why I don't like replaying baseball.
Okay, so what's wrong with the argument of whether it's a first down
because
or not?
They don't go in. The football coach.
Because this all happened just because a game was delayed because the chains were tangled. You're not going to computerize the chains. That is 10 yards. You could take a tape measure it. That is standardized.
Right.
So what's the problem with the chains?
I think you can upgrade the equipment. That's all. I'm not saying you go completely what humans think. No, you just upgrade the equipment. That's all.
I don't like it.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
Before this happened Saturday night, did you ever think that they should get rid of the chains.
Put a chip in the ball.
Not necessarily in the NFL, but in watching the high school games, yes. Because
we talked about this during the high school season that a lot of these officials just spot the ball on the yard line. And quote, one of the answers I was given because it's easier.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We're not going to put the ball where it ended up.
Right.
We're going to put it where it's easier.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this isn't high school, Stoney.
Right.
And I would argue that, you know what? These chains probably weren't checked before the game. They get them out of some equipment room in the back of the stadium.
Right.
And they probably should go through and look at the chains and
No,
make
but
sure
I
is
have-
it put together. But to have this overreaction and then
That's
also
not
say,
really
Is there
an
a weak link?
It's not really an overreaction. It's just whatever. Like I said, I'm not going to die on the hill for it. I mean, if they change
So
it,
you
they
sound pretty
change it.
passionate about it.
Well, I mean, come on.
I mean, they're missing a sponsorship opportunity. Tonight's ball is brought to you by Pfizer.
oh,
I'm going to stop right now because I'm.
so we talked
I
about
mean,
this.
all the players except Cole Beasley are they're all
Cole Beasley's never down,
Yes, exactly.
even when he's completely tackled.